The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. Today in the crew, we got Miss Brittany. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning.
And we have Miss Carol.
Good morning, everyone.
And then we have our brother Pedro back there pushing the buttons.
Good morning. Good morning.
And then we also have a special guest in the studio with us this morning, Christopher. How you doing, Christopher?
Hey, Ed. Great to be there.
Yeah, he's joining us all the way from South Africa. So, okay, so go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, no, I added everybody. Ed, it was Chris. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, but anyway, so hopefully we got a Jimmy, Kustom Cane. You Can Give. You guys know them well because we advertise them every day, right? And the You Can Give initiative, and Christopher is part of that. So anyway, today let me get into our interest groups, and then we'll see if Jimmy pop in. If not, then we're going to pick Christopher's brain. How about that? So today we have one interest group, and it is our support group with Dominic Martin. So that will be tonight at 6 p.m. And tonight's topic is stepping out of your comfort zone. So, Dominic always comes up with some really, really, really strong topics, and just because you hear it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's going to, he comes at us from a different angle where we go, wow, I didn't even realize that. So anyway, come join us tonight at 6 p.m. and join in on the conversation with Dominic. And hey, it's always a lot of fun. So anyway, Chris, since we are waiting on Jimmy, I know a lot about Jimmy and You Can Give and Kustom Cane. I know Jimmy's told you a lot about me, but I've been supporting Jimmy since he was still in college. I don't carry anything but Kustom Canes. Actually, I have a collection of them. I think I have about 5 or 6 of them at this point. So, and then once he started this You Can Give initiative, man, that was just, it's the greatest thing on the planet I can think of, man. I mean, I don't know how I would react. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have a cane. And, just to know that he's affecting change in so many people's lives, making sure that they get a cane in their hands and, learn how to use it and so on and so forth, man. So how's your experience been with him?
Yeah, Ed, I've only been blind for 10 years. And when I first lost my sight, living here in the bottom part of Africa, access to any resources, any rehabilitation services is quite limited, yeah. So getting a cane, the only way for me to get one was from the US. And that took almost a year before I had a buddy visiting me that could actually bring me a nice cane. So for the first year of my own sight loss, I used a piece of electrical conduit pipe and figured things out on my own. There's many people that are unlike me. They don't have a friend in the States that's about to come out and make a trip. And so they go their whole lives without having the use of a mobility cane. And it was a big moment for me when I heard about Jimmy and I reached out to him and said, look, there's a school here, a lot of kids, they desperately need canes. are you in any way able to assist? And it was about 3 or 4 years ago, we managed to equip all the kids at the Athlone School for the Blind here with canes. And of course, after I'd undertaken that project, I'm a blind adventurer. I just happened to be the catalyst that made it all happen. And I'm normally out there jumping off mountains or paddling oceans and that type of stuff. So I was just the guy that delivered the canes, and it was UK gave the really were the rock stars in all this. But of course, once we equipped the children at the one school, all the other schools, and specifically the more rural schools that were not able to access the help that city brings, they started reaching out to me and knocking on my door and saying, please, can you help us? Can you help us? But I was busy with a different project at the time. I was building a new home for my family and filming it. Program's called Building Blind. It's on DSTV, which is our local satellite channel, and all the clips are on YouTube. But once I finished that, I decided it's time to restart this initiative and try to reach out to some of these rural schools. And some of these schools are so far down dirt roads that they've never seen an O&M. They don't know what they've never touched a collapsible mobility cane. So I just know how we're going to change their lives, and who knows what paths they can forge with the right equipment in their hand.
Right. Yeah, I mean, again, I just think it's amazing what Jimmy's doing, man. I've always supported him since he started this. I mean, I've collected canes for him. I've refurbished canes for him. Wow. I mean, anything I can do, man. I truly believe in what you guys are doing down there. So, I mean, again, I know a lot, but, the rest of my crew, I mean, you guys are welcome to ask questions of Christopher and, pick his brain. And Britt, Carol, anybody, you got anything for him?
Well, Katie has a comment. She said that You Can Give is a worthy organization. And I just want to know, okay, so if people don't have canes, if these kids don't have canes, what are they using? Are they just being guided around? Like, what are their lives? I can't imagine it.
It's amazing how necessity is the mother of all invention. So sometimes it's a piece of tree, a broomstick handle, a car antenna works really well, a piece of electrical conduit pipe which got a little bit of flex. Anything and anything that can help them. They find ways of getting themselves around. There's no question about that. But that's not always the safest way. And where people have to travel long roads, some of these schools that we're visiting, these kids have to cross rivers to get to school, climb mountains. They have to walk, some of them walk 10 miles and through rugged terrain as a blind person to reach a school to get an education. So,
okay, well, Jimmy just popped in. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning.
We're just sitting there picking Christopher's brain, trying to wait on you to make your way in. So
sorry about that. I had to get in through my phone. Computer wasn't cooperating.
Yeah, Chris was just telling us about the journey some of these kids have to take just to make it to school over harsh terrain, rivers, and mountain ridges and stuff like that. And Chris, and this could go for you too, Jimmy. My question was, and then once they're in school, when it comes to writing or reading and all that, and do they have access to Braille and stuff like that, or? Did we lost Chris?
Did that be a good one for you, Chris?
Is he still there? I don't.
Yeah, he lost.
I don't hear.
There he is.
Okay.
There he goes.
So when we've been to Africa, we've been to Cape Town a few times. It's a bigger city. I mean, they had access to Braille and some materials, but not a lot. But the areas that Chris will be going to is going to be a lot different and be, if Chris is back on, probably more representative of what the majority of blind people experience in South Africa.
Well, he's back with us now. I don't know if you heard. Did you hear the question, Chris, before you left? I thought I had him back. He is here.
I
He may
hear.
be muted, trying to unmute
There we
himself.
go.
Oh,
He's
there
added
he
to
is.
stage. He's added to stage.
There he is. Back, Chris.
I think he might be having technical. Yeah, he's unmuted.
He's having some technical
Technical
difficulties
difficulties.
out there. So anyway, Jimmy, I mean, I see, man, the numbers are growing, my brother. You over what 3,000 canes now? You passed out. We must be having some serious technical difficulties.
Right.
Oh, James is muted. Let me
Well, while we're waiting for him, Daniel Solis said good morning and it's a beautiful day. Good morning, Daniel. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you.
Good morning,
I'm not.
Daniel.
yes. Yes, James, you're on.
There you go, Jimmy. Well, I keep hitting the button, but he won't come
Oh, okay.
unmuted.
No,
Hello.
he's probably there you go.
Okay.
We could
I
hear
didn't touch my phone. It muted me for some reason. My phone was sitting on the desk. I promise.
you.
But you know, us blind people, we got them fingers that like to touch stuff. But I didn't do it that time for real.
Yeah, yeah. So we could start at the beginning, Jimmy.
Let's do it.
I know we got Chris's backstory. In your story, on your journey, becoming blind. I know it tells us about you guys and how y'all went to DPI and things like that. But how did you started losing your
I think
sight?
you got our stories mixed up, Pedro. Jimmy didn't go to DPI with me.
Oh,
I
okay. Then I
met
get
I
it
met
mixed.
Jimmy afterwards when I decided I didn't want to walk with a regular cane. I wanted a custom cane.
Mm, okay, 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 okay.
Right.
Well, the DPI part, scrap that from the question. But how was the your journey in becoming blind, and so some other folks can get a better understanding in your journey?
Sure. So, um, I've got like four versions of it: the Cliff Notes version, the 45-minute version, the 1 hour, and then uh the whole meal version. But I'll do the short version. So basically, I was cited for 29 years, was self-employed, successful in the automotive business, restyling and customization. And I got to a point in my life to where I was really struggling. I was going through a really severe 6-year divorce that turned ugly. I was coping in ways that weren't good uh, because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know where to turn. Long story short, I woke up one day uh, not knowing where I was, could not see, didn't know what had happened. And long story short, what had happened was I had attempted suicide. Everything was hitting at once that one day, at that one moment. That next thing I knew, I was blind 3, 4 days later. Thankfully, with a 20% chance of living, that's all I lost was I did lose my sense of taste and smell, which is sad sometimes, but it comes in handy when you have a guide dog. But anyways, I had to not only still deal with the stuff that was putting me in a bad place, but now I had to learn what blindness was and what my life would look like. And so, in that journey, it brought me to this idea of wanting to help others avoid some of the mistakes I made and know what those resources are that are available. And so I went to college to get a degree in counseling. And during that time, um, I still had that creativity side in me. And when I know I needed my first cane, there was the white cane with the red tip. There's a couple different handle styles, and that was about it. And me being creative and adding personality and pizzazz to people's things that people value and cherish. Um, was something that I wanted to do to my cane, um, because it was something and to this day, I really value and really cherish. And so, um, That's a good one. I need to write that down. But anyway, I customized my first cane, and as I was going through other trainings and meeting other people, they're like never heard of anything like that before, and so that's kind of how custom cane took off. And as custom cane took off, then that led to us really learning a lot about or me really learning a lot about how places like in South Africa and throughout Africa, China, India, it's the highest population of blind people, and that the population that is the population with the fewest canes. And so I was like, how can we change that? Because as I'm selling canes here in America and worldwide also, but mostly in America, people have like 4 or 5 canes, or they got a cane for every outfit. But we've got people around the world that have never had a cane in their life, and so we started the You Can Give initiative. Started with at a convention, just asking people, would you give us your old one? And like, sure. And through like 3 days, we had 10 or 12 canes or so going to, I think it was Guatemala. Um, I knew someone that was heading to Central America, and so I was like, well, looks like this we can make this work. And so, next year would be 10 years. And as we are talking about earlier, we're at 36 countries. So I'm expecting us to hit 40 countries this year, and a little bit over 2,700 canes. So we're looking at about 3,000 at least this year. And then these solar players, which have a lot of information and a lot of new stuff we just added to it. Will be given out this year, and Chris will be giving those out along with the canes too. So that's my Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And these solar players, guys, these are like gesture readers, but made for people that don't have access to power. This is another
Right.
great thing that we
Yeah.
talk about our You Can Give initiative with Jimmy, how he provides material inside these players and teaches kids and other folks that doesn't have access to a cane how to fix them, how to wire them up, and other good things like that. That's why we're so passionate about the You Can Give initiative, and we play your commercials here, Jimmy. But
Nice.
and then starting from the beginning, when you first obtained the canes and you were making the first trip, how
Hmm.
did you feel? Was it exciting? How the feeling was putting the canes on these kids' hands, even throughout all these 10 years you've been doing the mission. How's the adventure been?
Man, I mean, it went from again collecting some canes at a convention to we're going to Kenya. And never would have thought, if you would have asked me, 10 years before that, when I could still see that, you're going to be going to Kenya next 10 years blind with with another person that you happen to know, I'd be like, yeah, right. Okay. But it happened. And, there was a mixture of I had not been out of the country since I had been blind, so that was kind of part of it. But um, whenever there's a mission, whenever there's a trip, there's always going to be things that happen that are unexpected. That's just you plan for the unexpected. It's not, but it always seems to work itself out is what we've learned, and we've always learned from it. And so we had a few people that were supposed to go back out in the last minute, and I'm like, oh man, how are we going to do this? But it could not have went any better. It was amazing. I think we ended up with like 115 canes given out over 12 days throughout a few different Nakuru, Nairobi, Thika, a few places throughout Kenya. We had our team in place that was there already in Kenya, and it was so exciting. Like I think it was 23 hours total flying and layover. Like I remember going to bed at like 1 in the morning Kenya time, and we got up at they wanted us up at 6 to start to head out. I'm like, oh Lord, really? And man, I was so pumped. I felt like I had slept like a baby, and it was. It did catch up with me later, but it was really exciting. It was very. And I know we have our videos and stuff on our YouTube channel, and we share some on our website. But that's just to be there and experience at the people as they would come in, and have people lead them in, or they're coming in with water piping, that steel or iron water piping, clunk 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 coming in, and all of a sudden you have a room of 30 people tap 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 tap. I mean, it's just music to your ears, and it's just an amazing experience and I know I can't see, but I could feel those smiles, and of course people with us, just people break out in song, it just
You could feel the excitement in the
oh my
room.
gosh, it's just so amazing, so amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and I also see that children end up with canes in their hands, and
Mm-hmm.
I seen the video on your website when the little girl gets the cane and she starts walking down the hall, and she's
Mm-hmm.
all like surprised and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
you could hear the excitement, like in her voice, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a good thing right there. And over 2,700 canes. So yeah, this year you'll be coming up on 3,000, and hopefully be more. Hopefully, soon you get to 4,000.
Yeah. Yep, we can do it with your help. YouCanGive.org. You can go there right now and help us do that. Make that happen.
Yeah, and Chris, and for you with the You Can Give initiative, how's it affected your life, and then the people you met, and how's the adventure been with you?
Yeah, it's so good to be able to help a child, specifically a school child, just have access to get to their classes and move around freely. There's just so many roads they can forge if they have a cane in their hand. The things that they wouldn't have access to otherwise. That's for me really important. And like Jimmy says, you can't see their smiles, but you can feel their joy. They just feel so confident, and when you see them from the moment you give them the cane to how they progress over a couple of weeks, it's just
Mhm.
they become so confident. They become different people.
Wow.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
getting goosebumps, Chris.
Yeah, it's just it's unfortunate that there's we need thousands of canes, not hundreds of canes.
Hmm.
That amount of canes that you can give is distributed could very easily be swallowed up by the blind community in Southern Africa, and most of them don't have the privilege of living in a city where they've got access to
Hmm.
proper pathways and things like that. This trip that we're doing now, what I'm going from reaching the most developed places here to going to the most rural, down dirt roads, as I said earlier, through rivers, over mountains, rocks, along the beach. Some of these kids, they go on a boat to cross a river to get to school every single day. And when the river floods, they can't get to school. And when there's rain, they struggle to climb up these muddy embankments and things like that. So it's really vital that they have some of these tools that can help them become stronger.
Right, right. Well, I mean, I know again, I've always said this is amazing from day one. I've always done whatever I could to help Jimmy out. I wish I could do a lot more. I wish people would participate a lot more. I know I got a handful of canes here at the house. I think Pedro's got a handful at his house, and we just keep asking for canes, asking for canes. I don't know, Jimmy's. You want me to send 3, 4 canes, or you rather wait till I get 30 or
Send
40?
them. Send them.
Okay, okay,
So
no problem.
just think of it this way. I had one of our partners reach out. They said we had a cane event and we didn't get as many as we thought, but we've got about 30 canes. I said, I want you to think of those canes as a person.
Yep.
That's 30 people whose lives will be changed. So if you've got one cane, you got 30 canes. Please send them because each one of them is a person that is gonna have their first taste of independence, first
Yeah.
taste of being able to go just to get to school safely, just to go outside and experience their environment outside their house for the very first time.
Yeah.
um, one cane, 20 canes, it's a person.
Right, right. No, I get it. I get it. I do get it, my brother. I really do. Right quick, Brittany, you got any comments down there?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, briefly, Jimmy, again, give them the information on how they can reach out. Because, I mean, I'm always telling them they can either send it to you at youcangive.org, or they can reach out to us as well, and get them to
Right.
us, and I'll make sure we get them to you.
Right. Either way, yep. Our website, youcanegive.org. The Y is YOU, Cane, CANE, give.org. On the website, the main page, there's the link for the free matter label. So you can print that off, slap that on your box or whatever you want to ship it in. And that'll come to us absolutely free. You don't even have to pay to send us your cane. If you end up buying something off of our store, which is also on there, you'll get $15 rebate for sending us a cane or canes. So all that information is on there. Encourage folks we have a newsletter to sign up for so you can stay updated, our social media so you can stay updated to find out, if you send us a cane or you make an order, where does your cane end up? So if you sent a cane recently, then it's probably gonna, if it's not, it won't be the South Africa trip, but canes that we're getting right now are being prepared for Ethiopia in April. 444 kids are about to graduate that don't have a cane, right? So those
Yeah.
canes will probably go to Ethiopia. So, you can give.org, you can make a donation, you can become a monthly donor. There's different uh, groups that you can be memberships with the depending on how much you donate, which will give you extra um, benefits and stuff and giveaways. And so you know every little bit helps. Every little bit helps, and we want to try these next couple weeks. If you're able to give a little extra, donating even on our Facebook page, there's a way to donate, or donate on our website. Everything that we're collecting right now is to help Chris to make sure that we can try to help with covering the rest of the expenses, uh, to get through the terrain he has to, and prepare, and lodging and all that kind of stuff. So we want to support Chris as much as possible. And so these next couple weeks, anything that we get will be specifically going towards this South African initiative. I think it's just
Monica wants to
important.
know, do you guys accept volunteers for You Can Give?
Good question. So on our website, there is a volunteer form that you can fill out that will get in which you'll put that'll give us information about where you're at, age, your health, how are you wanting to volunteer. It shows the areas in which we have the needs, and ways in which you can volunteer. If you are an O&M instructor or I just want to help fix canes, I want to help just to spread the word, I want to do social media. There's so many jobs, it takes a lot of people to keep this going. And so absolutely, yes, if there's a part of you that wants to help in some way, even if it's just an hour a month or something, we can find a job for you. So just go to our
Yeah.
website again and click on that volunteer request form and fill that out. And if you have any issues, just call me directly or email me and we'll get that information from you. But definitely always could use help.
Okay, okay. We will be back. We're gonna cut to a quick break, fellas. We'll be right back.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. Did you know that people in third world countries do not have access to canes? The You Cane Give initiative gives canes to people all over the world who cannot get canes. The You Cane Give initiative not only goes to these countries and gives people canes, but they give people canes and a digital recorder that is solar powered, that has instructions on how to use the cane and instructions on how to repair the cane. The You Cane Give initiative is a very worthy cause, giving canes to blind people all over the world. If you have a cane that you're no longer using, or a cane that's broken or bent, you can go to youcanegive.org and get a shipping label, and you can ship your cane to Jimmy in Tennessee, and he will refurbish it and give your cane to a blind person in a third world country. That website again is youcanegive.org.
So that's one of them that we play every day, Jimmy.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's and then our voiceover lady, Brittany, does
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you guys.
She handles all of that for us. Well, before it's over with, you'll hear the one she does about Kustom Cane as well.
Yeah.
So on that note, Jimmy, I mean, you know me, I'm definitely a Kustom Cane fan. All these canes I got, and I'm just speaking with you the other day about I'm ordering my all-terrain cane. So tell folks about what you guys got on over there in the marketplace.
Well, you know, we are always adding new products. I guess the most recent ones are the all-terrain and the Explorer canes. We are working with we're trying to see if we can get some of those to Chris in time for his initiative there in Africa, because from what Chris has described, having a more sturdier cane or a cane that has a longer handle grip would definitely be helpful. You know, if you're needing to climb, if you're needing to navigate through some of those obstacles. And so that's what those canes are. They're built a little sturdier. Without giving up without making them heavier, so they've been able to navigate that. The Explorer cane has a clamp that will allow you to extend the cane up to, I think, about 7 inches longer. So if you want a little bit of a longer cane, or if you're needing to shorten it down, you're able to do that, which is really nice. um, the all-terrain cane is very similar. It's a 3-section cane, just because the handle grip is longer than typically, and it's more for, let's say, if you're doing hiking, or you're in more rough terrain, or you're trying to go up embankments. It's helpful to have a longer grip, and it also has the extension clamp that allows it to extend further out if you need to. The tips that they come with, they have the ball tip. It's not as large as what you may be used to, but it's still a ball tip, and it's what they have found that's to work best with that terrain. They also have what they call the dome tip, which is very similar to the mushroom tip, except it's a little bit more rounded at the bottom. They hold up very well, and they come in many different colors, which is also kind of cool. So if you customize a cane, you can also match up your personalization with that tip. And again, buying whether it's a charm, whether it's a urban explorer cane, an all-terrain cane, all of those, um, everything that we make from that goes to the You Can Give initiative. And all of that's going to be going to help support Chris in these next couple weeks. Those are the top, I guess, our top two things that have been recent. The other thing that we have that's new is our cane traveling bag. Uh, it's made out of genuine leather. It's actually made in South Africa. One of our board members, Angus, his mom, uh, hand stitches these leather pouches. They come in four colors, or not pouches, bags, but they have a strap put around your shoulder. You can clip it. It has a place where you can loop it to your belt, and just a way to, if you need to put your cane up where it doesn't get lost or dirty, or if you want to throw some other stuff in there as you travel, you can do that. So that's another one of our new products. Those are probably the top three products, but all those, um, any of those things that you purchase will go towards South Africa. The last thing that we've added that's new to the website is the ability to buy gift certificates. So if you wanted to get something for someone, but you just don't know what, you can just buy a gift certificate, and you'll get an email with a code, kind of like you would do with Amazon or any other place. And then you can give it to that person. And again, the proceeds from that will go to South Africa.
All right. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm a fan. I guess I'm kind of vain with all these canes I have.
We'll get that shipping label printed for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I can print it out, Jimmy. I got, so I'll just get with Pedro and we'll combine ours and send them all at one time since we're close by each other. That way we have at least, I believe, about 5 or 8 canes that we'll be able to send you help out on that end. Man, I'm just trying to figure out something that that I can do other than promote you. You know what I mean? With Blind United, and I don't know. I mean, let me talk to my board, man. I'm gonna see if we can, because we do a scholarship thing. I mean, it might work as far as a scholarship, that we're doing with our nonprofit, and be able to probably help you out with some extra canes on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. One way that other organizations have become more involved, rather than in addition to collecting canes, is helping to have restoration events. And those can be pretty fun. You don't need a lot of people. You can have about we found that kind of sweet spot, about 8 to 12, 8 to 10 people, and you can knock out a good number of canes in a couple hours. It's time to kind of talk about what you're doing, uh, as you guys are working on them, and just kind of get excited about it. People get excited as they're working on it, and then when they find out where those canes are going or where we're getting ready to send those canes to, and that helps us so much as well if we get canes that are already ready to go. So when we get requests from Chris in South Africa, when we got this request from Ethiopia just a couple weeks ago, to be able to have those canes already restored and ready to go can be so helpful. And we have the training material, we have the supplies, the elastic, the vinyl, the tips, whatever it is that you need in order to carry out an event. So we provide training, we provide help you to make sure you have everything you need to be able to do that. So that's another way in which groups or um, small church groups, small chapters, other organizations, or just a few friends get together, and we'll give you everything you need to restore those canes, and that can be a huge way of helping us as well. So that way we can helps us to get these canes out more quickly to the people that need them.
Monica wants to know, have you ever been to Malawi in Africa?
I have not been to Malawi.
My favorite country.
Is it?
Well, in 2013, I traveled through Africa on a little Vespa scooter. It was a fundraiser for a children's hospital here. And of all the countries that we visited, 20 different countries, all the way from Cape Town to Dublin, Malawi was my favorite country. It was the happiest people. They're poor, simple people, but they've got beautiful smiles, and they're full of life and joy.
Mm.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
1 out of 2. So 1 out of 2. Chris has been there.
Sound like Chris has been a little bit of everywhere.
And
It's just
51 countries.
oh wow.
Okay.
Wow.
wow. So we're
Okay.
trying to catch up with you, Chris. Just really so grateful for Chris and I met through a mutual partner friend a few years ago when we that got us connected with this school in Cape Town, South Africa, and it's just been an honor to learn more about Chris, about his story, and about what he's doing. And when Chris sees a need, he goes for it, and I just love the passion and. You could hear in his voice as he's talking about giving those canes to children. Giving them um, that autonomy, that ability to be independent. And so
Yeah.
it's been only a few years, but it's been a great. I've really enjoyed working with Chris and look forward to many more things to do together.
Exactly. Exactly.
One big one to get through first. That's the difficult one that's coming up. In two
Mm-hmm.
weeks' time, we'll be on the road. Starting tomorrow, in 2 weeks' time, we've got to travel a little over 2,000 miles, and we'll be visiting four specific schools for the blind, two orphanages where most of the children are blind or special needs children, the National Braille Library. I've been very lucky enough that one of my good friends is an adventure tour guide, so he's going to be my pilot, and he's going to take us along. I'm taking my guide dog Sam with us, so we'll give a little bit of joy to these children as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
yeah, we just we just need to desperately raise some funds because, of course, it comes with a fuel bill, accommodation, food, all sorts of
Mhm.
things that we're going to have to cover. Which ultimately, if we don't get support, it's coming out my pocket because I can't let these canes not get to the hands of the children they need to.
Yeah, yeah. And a little bit of the digital solar power e-reader. Yeah,
Yeah.
load them up with digital books for the children.
So they have a cane training guide.
Hmm.
It'll have the guide teaching basics on restoration, so they kind of know the basics on how the cane is put together. So that way, and we usually provide also extra canes and extra tips and material so that they're able to restore them. It has some songs now on there, both for the children and for adults that just encourage use and practice of the cane. It also has the Bible in the native tongue of the recipients, so they have that as well. And we've also added a series of interviews called Exceptionally Ordinary, which are interviews that I've just collected over the past 10 years or so of people who have lost their sight and yet have found ways of making an impact in their life or in others. And I think actually I think Chris's interview is in there. So that'll be on the players as well. So I'm just really excited about having all those pieces on there. So that way we're giving them like a complete kit that they'll have as they start their new journey with their cane.
And
I
by being
remember.
so
Go ahead, Chris.
sorry, Ed. No, that was
Oh,
me, Ed.
go ahead,
I
Carol.
was just saying it's just brilliant that it's solar powered. I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
that concept is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Chris, tell us a little bit about that, because as far as power and so forth. So when you what's electricity like when these places you've been and when you've gone not only here in the bush or when you did that 20 country trip? Tell us
Yeah. So
about that so we have a
so
better
so just to
understanding why the solar power is important.
just to add to the canes and the audio players that we're going to be distributing, we've also organized school bags as well as pencil cases and things like that that we'll be carrying and also handing to each of the children through my partners here. But yeah, look, the areas we're going to, some of them are in towns, but most of these children live out of the town. They live in an area where they might not have power at home. They might live in a shack, in a corrugated iron roof sheet shack. They might only have access to charging their mobile phone if they had it, or with a TV by car battery, which they tend to push around on a wheelbarrow. And some of the areas there's just no power. So the one school in particular, in an area called Bizana, just to communicate with the principal and let her know we're coming is challenging because there's no power. So they at the school have no electricity, and over and above that, in South Africa we have this situation where we have these rolling blackouts called load shedding. So when the power grid is under too high demand, they actually kill the power in different areas for a couple of hours at different times of the day. So electricity is something that people from a Western society take for granted, but here in Africa, it's something very much sporadic, and a lot of these children, there's other things that are more important than putting power on, rather getting food for your family. So the quicker that we can get these kids independent, educated, and strong to the point that they can seek employment or become a contributing part of society, the better for them.
Exactly. I was getting ready to say, I remember, I think it was a few years back, Jimmy, you were telling about this one lady. She was actually a preacher, and she had somebody that was reading the Bible to her until
Mary.
you gave her that solar Bible, and she was
Yep.
just, man, now she can do it on her own, man. That's so beautiful, man.
Yeah, yeah. She came towards the end of the trip, our time there in Nairobi, and we had like two canes left, and she was the tallest person we had seen the whole time. So we didn't have a cane but I had one player that I had set aside just to give to someone, and she ended up being the person we gave it to, and yeah, and then when she just shared her story, how now she can finally read it whenever she wants to, um, and be able to do it independently was just it brought her to tears. It brought me to tears. And again, I didn't even get to the point of asking her about how the solar power feature would be beneficial to her. And so that's a big part of it too. To have access to it at any time, just like that cane. Our cane gives us the ability to travel whenever we want to, right? I don't have to
Right,
wait on Bubba to get home to lead me around. I can pick my cane up and I can go. That's what it's all about.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, we say it there all the time, man. I don't know what I would do without my cane. And
And
then,
if your name's Bubba, I was just joking. I don't have any hard
Don't
feelings
come
with it. We
after me.
appreciate your help, Bubba.
yep,
Yeah, but
yep.
we appreciate it. We appreciate you and your mission, Jimmy. You too, Chris. Y'all doing a worthy cause. I know when I pick up my cane, I feel empowered. I feel independent. And when I forget,
Safe.
when I just rush out the door and I step out my door and I'm like, oh my eyes, I need to go grab my cane. And I know for some people in third world countries don't have that, and then to give that independence and put it in their hands, able to get around and you know able to
Yeah.
even they're gonna develop their ear. For myself, I kind of hear like the echo of of the tap that I could kind of listen to objects around me. So some of these kids are gonna develop that skill. They're gonna putting these canes in their hand is it's a game changer even for anybody. Even becoming blind and getting that cane in your hand is a game changer. It's a necessary
Pedro,
tool to have.
yeah.
Hmm.
let's call it a cane changer instead of a game changer. It's a cane changer.
A cane
I
Love
like
it.
changer,
that.
guys.
Love it.
Can't change it. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Well, and again, for those that again, if you just want to get a cane for yourself, of course, he's got Kustom Cane. I always like to talk about my collection of canes, and uh, I, I don't know, am I still the craziest cane that you've made, Jimmy?
Yes.
No doubt about it. Huh?
Yes, yes, yes. That was a quick answer, wasn't it? So, Chris, I don't know if I've told you, but Ed told me one day. He said, I always tell people my cane is my eyes. He said, so I want a cane with nothing but eyeballs on it. So, Cane has an Ed. Ed has a cane that has all these different eyeballs just overlapping, going all the way down his cane. And the charm on his cane that hangs off the elastic is one of those glass eyes, what that's in a clear liquid, so it spins around. So that's probably been one of the most unique ones we've done.
The
Well,
googly eyes.
well, I
That
mean, I
sounds
get a.
amazing.
It literally creates a lot of conversation. I think that's another reason I like my custom canes because when I'm out and about and they look and they see my cane, and wait a minute, that cane ain't white. There ain't no red tip on that cane. And it starts conversation and it gives me the opportunity to try to create awareness. So, and then I'm always telling them, no, I get mine from my buddy Jimmy down in Tennessee, and he's got this other foundation he's doing now where he's giving canes to third world countries. So I'm always out there, even when I'm out and about, Jimmy, I'm trying to, I don't, I wish I could, keep track of how many people I done told and keep track of how many people may actually reach out to you or whatever, but I'm always, my brother, trying to help out in any way I can. So,
Well, we
uh,
appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. And everyone that listens, I just want you to think about every time you grab your cane, every time you head out to work or head out to the market or grab your cane to go to the mailbox, just take a second to think about that there's someone right now in South Africa where Chris is going to be traveling that doesn't get to do that, that doesn't have the ability to do that independently or safely. And
right.
so, if it's $5, if it's $500, every little bit counts. Help us put some more of these canes in these kids' hands so they can do these same things as well. And we hear sometimes stories of the impact that it makes, but we don't always uh, hear. But we know that it does make a difference. It makes a
Oh yeah.
change, and
Oh yeah.
but we can't do it without you.
And again, we can't do it without everybody else. So again, as Brittany says, man, you got an old rusty, dusty cane sitting somewhere in your house. Some people got three or four of them that I got my new cane, so let me pile this one up over in the corner. No, don't let it sit there and collect dust.
No, no, no. Yeah.
Fold it up,
That
put
rusty dusty
it in the
cane, Ed.
envelope, and let's get these canes to Jimmy so Jimmy can get these canes to people that really really need these canes. So
Yeah, that,
uh, uh,
that rusty cane that you're talking about, Ed. That rusty dusty cane in the back of your cupboard that you've forgotten about, haven't even touched it in 3, 4, 5 years. That's safety for someone else. That's security. That's independence. That gives them the ability to not just turn into Inspector Gadget, but to actually move, to access shops, education, transport, to move between families, buildings, huts in a way that is safe. That for me is what a cane is. It gives people a safe way of moving around. These people, they move around. But, we as blind people, we do whatever we can, but it takes 10 times longer sometimes. And without a cane, it takes 100 times longer.
Mhm.
Mhm.
oh yeah, I mean, I've tried to walk out and well, I around my house when I go outside and I go out in the backyard and I ain't grab my cane, but now I'm sitting there swinging my feet around trying to feel stuff, and
Yep, that's it.
Right.
nah, that ain't cool. Let me
We've
go
all
get my
bled.
cane.
We've all bled and been bruised and cut ourselves and done stupid things. And So imagine that's the norm. Every day, that's what you experience. You walk into trees, you fall off of the edge of the gutter or the pavement, or the edge of a cliff.
Right, right. And for those of us here in the in the States and stuff, that have gone through, and learned O&M and stuff like that, remember what it was like when you first put that cane in your hand and you didn't know how to use it. Like Chris was saying, you're walking and, man, I got so many scars on my forehead right now. Oh my goodness. My shins are all scarred up from walking into what we call street furniture.
Try building a house. See how many times I hit the scaffold, and oh my goodness me.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can only imagine, Chris, but again, folks, please do all you can. We got to help these folks get some canes. We got to give them that freedom. We got to give them that independence. You know what I mean?
So a couple things. So just remember that, the youcangive.org or customcane.com, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. So anything that you donate is tax deductible. We'll give you any documentation you need so that you can use that for your tax records. Also, a lot of times people will say, well, my cane's broke. It's fine. Because a lot of
Doesn't
times what
matter.
we're
Yeah.
able to do is just remove the broken section. And that may have been a 60-inch cane, and now it's a 54 or 52-inch. That's perfect for a shorter person, or even, it now is the perfect size for a child, and we have boxes of
Yep.
parts where we've been able to take couple pieces from this cane, a couple pieces from this cane, and make a full-sized cane of, let's say someone needed a 56, and now we have a 56-inch cane because of people sending us a cane that's even been broken. So even if it's broken, we can fix it, we can restore it. We'll give you the parts to fix it yourself and send it to us. Whatever it is that you can do, we're so grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And give that people the website and even your email or something like that if they want to get in contact with you and stuff like that, or everything could be done through the website.
Sure. So both websites are the same, but youcangive.org, youcanegivE.org. Everything that we talked about is on that website. The Custom Cane, which is custom with a K, cane with a C. And also our email address is just youcangive@gmail.com.
All right, all right. Any comments, Britt? I know that we're getting to the top of the hour.
Well, Monica and George said good morning, so good morning to you guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good evening.
And Chris says good
Yeah,
evening.
it's good evening in Africa.
What
And
time is it
Daniel
over there,
said
Chris, for our
listening right
listeners?
now. Daniel is
I'm
ordering
guessing must be
canes
close
right
to
now
8
as we
p.m. now.
speak.
Say that again, Britt. Sorry, Chris.
Oh no, Daniel said that's another comment. Daniel said that he's ordering canes from Kustom Cane right now, and he's sending his old dusty, rusty canes to you Cane Give right now.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Daniel.
much.
Yeah, and you were saying, Chris, sorry for the interrupt.
No, that was it. I was just saying that it's about 8 p.m. Now. We're getting close to 8 p.m. now.
Oh wow! So they're past the sunset over there, over the mountains and all that. Man, it must look beautiful over there. The sunsets.
So he's drinking decaf. If he's having
We're
coffee
way
time,
ahead
it's
of
decaf.
we're way ahead of you guys.
Yeah,
So just so
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, Jimmy, Daniel, he's got a cane from you before with his name on it, Daniel Solis.
Uh-huh.
It's been a little while back. He's in Idaho, so
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I
he,
remember. Yeah. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you. You're going to be
Yeah.
you're going to be empowering someone's life with a new cane. Because of your order. So thank you.
So what I was saying to Jimmy as well about this project, this distribution project, it's not as simple as just driving in your car, going to a school in the city, and meeting some children and handing the canes out. We're gonna have to travel some pretty aggressive roads. So I'm glad that my friend Big Mike, that's going to be playing uh, guide to me, a sighted guide and vehicle driver, is equipped to do that. And yeah, we're going to run expenses of somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500 just to be able to get these canes in the hands of these kids. It becomes expensive, and that's why the city turns a blind eye and they forget about these schools, they forget about these rural locations. They just figure, out of sight, out of mind. But these kids will never get out of the rut that they're in if people like Jimmy and You Can Give and that don't give them the opportunity to be stronger, to be safer, and to actually access things in a way that the sighted people take so for granted.
And we have a tendency to take things for granted here in the States because everything is so readily available.
Absolutely.
So we definitely need to keep that in the forefront of our minds as we go through our day. So on that note, Jimmy, my brother, you got any last words for us before we get out of here?
YouCaneGive.org. Donate your cane, make a monetary donation, help us to make this trip successful for Chris. Whatever you do, whether it's one cane, $1, 1,000 canes, $1,000, it's all going to South Africa, and we can't do it without you. And thank you so much for all of our supporters over the years.
Yeah, and again, whenever you can, remember, it's not just South Africa, because once he's done with South Africa, he's moving on to where you said next, Jimmy?
Ethiopia.
So, and he's been, like you said, he's been, what'd you say, 37 different countries already?
36.
36 different countries. Imagine that, y'all. 36 countries around the planet the way it's almost impossible to get a cane. To me, that's crazy. It's just, you would think that something so, essential for our community would be available. But man, it's mind-boggling as to, what's going on. So again, as always, Jimmy, we're going to continue to do what we do for you. We'll get together soon. Just so you know, my all-terrain cane is going to be my new eyeball cane. So,
oh man.
Well, it's going to be the one I use every day. So, like I said, I get a lot of attention with that one. But on the flip side of that, I'm going to give you my old eyeball cane, and maybe somebody in South Africa or somewhere else will enjoy walking around with a cane with eyeballs on it.
I'll scare off the rhinos and the zebras and the dangerous animals. They see this cane with eyeballs on it.
You don't have to worry about the animals, just worry about the people.
There you go.
Well, on that note, Jimmy, my brother, I love what you and Wendy are doing, and Chris, I appreciate everything that you're doing, being his counterpart over there. My brother, you guys are always welcome here on this channel. We will always, always, always promote what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And
thank you.
Man, I just appreciate you guys for all the effort that you're putting in and making this stuff happen for people around the planet.
Thanks, Ed. You know what? I always say Jimmy's from Nashville. That's because he's a rock star, but a figurative rock star for what he does. It's amazing, and you guys, by supporting him, man, that's very epic, very epic.
Well, like I said, I met him before he started You Can't Give, just because I wanted a custom cane, and then once he started You Can't Give, I was, oh man, I'm all in. So
that's a great project. Great.
Now I got my 501(c)(3). I'm gonna see whatever we can do with my 501(c)(3) to help out his 501(c)(3), and then maybe we can like I said, reach a few more people, put a few more canes in people's hands. So,
all right. So we can start today. Start right now.
So, again, grab that rusty, dusty cane sitting in the corner, fold it up, put it in an envelope, put it in a box, whatever you need to put it in, and go to youcangive.org, print yourself out a label, go to info@blindunited.org. I'll send you a label, whatever the case may be. We just need to get these canes in Jimmy's hand, and you know what? That's a great project for us to work on, Jimmy. I'm gonna see if we can try to put together some sort of a cane refurbished thing.
Wonderful.
Awesome. And then try to get, see if we can bring the blind community together out here and see if we can pull together a bunch of canes for you, man, and make this stuff happen.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem, my brother. I appreciate you. And for everybody commented and all that good stuff, I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that, follow button, subscribe button, whatever platform you on. And don't forget to go to YouCanGive. Is YouCanGive at YouTube, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, we're on YouTube also. Correct.
Yeah. Go to Jimmy's channel over there. And didn't you say you had a channel as well, Chris?
You can get me on Facebook with Blind Adventurer Christopher Venter. And
Okay.
I'm on YouTube, Twitter, you name it, everywhere.
Okay. Well, everybody, I appreciate you. Jimmy, Chris, thank you for coming, my brother. And everybody else, we will see you again tomorrow. Everyone have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.